Ladies and gentlemen, this is Shailesh Bhatt welcoming you to the webinar on Tally.ERP 9 technology features. During the course of the session, we will be interacting regarding what are the technology features Tally.ERP 9 offers to you now. Let us look at the agenda for this webinar. First, we will look at the functional difficulties that arise in our day-to-day business and the questions related to these difficulties, like how do I ensure the security of my data? How do I get the contact details of my customers and suppliers? How do I ensure that the reports and statements reach the right people in time? How a new branch office account can be set up effortlessly? How do we consolidate more than one company data? How do we print invoices in local languages? How do we get access to urgent records from anywhere in the world? During this webinar, we will also look at other great features of Tally.ERP 9, like splitting of financial years, exporting to Excel. While we discuss all these difficulties and the solutions which we offer from Tally.ERP 9, we will also see the Tally relevance. Post-session, we will have a short question and answer period for our audience. Let us start with the first topic in our agenda. How do we ensure security of data? For the purpose of demo, we have created a company by the name Salvo Raiders. We have few imaginary characters inside this office, like Mr. Sunil, who is the accountant at Salvo Raiders. There are many people who would be working on our systems. One day, one of the chief accountants at the office started accessing some unsecured site. Suddenly, virus attacked the computer. The chief accountant was now a little lost. The reason being, due to the virus attack, the hard disk had crashed and the data was non-recoverable. Now we started thinking, oh, I have lost the important accounts data. How do I recover it? Our hero, Mr. Sunil, who is the accountant at Salvo Raiders, pitches in and says that he has already taken the backup of the day's work on a storage media. This small initiative taken by Mr. Sunil has saved the day for Salvo Raiders. Let us see how do we take a backup from Tally.ERP 9. It's simple. From the gateway of Tally, select the option Backup and hit Enter here. Once you hit Enter, you will get the list of select companies to backup. On the top, Tally will ask you for the source from where the data needs to be backed up. In the destination here, you need to specify the location where you wish to store the backup. But currently, what we have done is we have put the destination as our Tally.ERP 9 data directory path. However, you can also put A drive as a destination to take the backup on the floppy. If you have a USB drive, you can specify the destination as your USB drive. After selection of source and destination of backup, we will select the list of companies which we wish to take the backup of. Hit Enter and accept it. The backup is taken. Now, in case of an emergency where you wish to restore the backup of your data, you can follow the steps which we will show you now. Again, it is very simple to restore your backup. From the gateway of Tally, select Restore and hit Enter. The screen, which is similar to Backup, will appear in front of you. This is this Company Restore screen. Here again, you will have to specify the destination where you wish to restore the backup and the source from where the backup has to be restored. Once the source and destinations have been specified, you need to select the companies from the list which is provided. These companies will be taken from the backup file which is available in the source of the backup. Another question that comes across our mind while working on our data is how do we maintain confidentiality? Here is a chief accountant who's thinking, is anybody accessing my personal data? How do I ensure that the data is available only for me to access and nobody else gets the access to it? Again, our hero, Mr. Sunil, comes in and advises the owner, don't worry sir, I have the solution for it. So what is the solution Mr. Sunil is offering to the owner? He is offering to specify Tally Vault password to the company. The Tally Vault password is used to encrypt the data file. Secondly, to maintain confidentiality of the data, you may choose a directory which is not a local one. By default, whenever you are creating a company, Tally offers you to select the directory path where you want to store the data. So in case you want to maintain your personal data on a pen drive, you can specify the directory path as your pen drive. This will allow you to store your Tally data on the USB drive and will be accessible only when the USB drive is connected to your system. The other option which Mr. Sunil has given is the Tally Vault password. As we discussed, Tally Vault password allows you to encrypt the data file. Here you can see that we have applied Tally Vault password when we are creating this company. You need to be aware of this fact that if the Tally Vault password is forgotten, it will become unusable. You mean to say the company which is Tally Vaulted will no longer be usable in case you have forgotten the Tally Vault password. Once the Tally Vault password has been applied to your company, when you go to select company, your Tally Vaulted company will appear with asterisk. The name of company is not visible. When you press enter here to select the company, immediately Tally will ask you to specify the Tally Vault password. Unless the proper Tally Vault password is specified, the user will not be able to open this company or read this data as it is encrypted. Again, one more worry for the owner is how do I restrict the access to the data? In the sense, the person who is data entry person or personnel should be able to enter data alone. He should not get the access to various reports like balance sheet, profit or loss account, or stock statements. Here, you can see the worry in our owner's face. He's thinking, how do I ensure that the staff gets restricted access to the data? Again, Mr. Sunil has offered help. He says it's easy with Tally.ERP 9. Now let us have a look at what is the solution Mr. Sunil is offering. He says that you can apply security controls to the data. You can see here we have enabled security controls and specified the username and password. The username and password which we specified during the company creation will be taken as the administrator username and password. An administrator would be the person who has complete access to the data. He is the person who will be able to create new users and passwords, and he would be the person who would be able to audit the data and keep the audit trail. One more thing that you need to be aware of is this warning message which will appear once you specify username and password or you enable the security control. The warning message says, forgetting your password will render your data inaccessible. Again, like in the case of Tally Vault, in case the administrator username and password is forgotten, the data will become inaccessible. Once the administrator logs into the company, he gets the access to security control. From the security controls, he can create new users and passwords, and also he can define the new types of securities. When you hit enter on types of security, it takes you into security levels. Here, you can define the type of security level you wish to assign. Like here, there is one security level by the name data entry, who will have the basic facilities of an owner. However, when you look at the bottom part of this security level screen, you will notice that we have allowed certain reports or certain vouchers or certain type of facility for our data entry personnel. Whereas on the left hand side, we have disallowed full access to various reports and functions. Once the types of securities have been defined, you can start creating the users and give them the passwords. Like here, you can see we have created and defined new levels like owner, accounts manager, purchase manager, technical expert, and data entry. And for each level, we have defined usernames and passwords. Once we accept this and we come back, whenever any person tries to open the company, the first screen that will appear in front of him would be the name of user and password screen. Once the user specifies his username and password, he will get restricted access to Gateway of Tally. Like here, you can see the Gateway of Tally consists of only 5 options: accounting vouchers, inventory vouchers, import of data, display, multi-account printing, and quit. This is possible because of the restricted usage or the security levels that we have created and assigned. When the person of a data entry level goes into Daybook, he is able to see the transactions which have been passed. However, once he tries to select the voucher and he presses enter, to alter any transaction, he will get an error message saying no access allowed. The reason being, the data entry person is supposed to make transactions and not alter them. In security of data, there is one exciting feature which has been introduced in Tally.ERP 9. If you look closely, you will find an option which says disallow opening and educational mode. This option has been introduced in ERP9 to enable users to restrict their data from being accessed in any educational mode Tally. This will be accessible only in the Tally which has a unique serial number available on it. If the data is taken into a Tally which is in educational mode, the person will be able to see the company in the list of select companies. However, once he hits enter, he will be taken into company information menu showing an error. Let us have a look at the second point in our day's discussion. How to get contact details of customers and suppliers. It's festival time and Salvo Raiders, which is our company, wishes to send greeting to its suppliers. The purchase manager who wants this data is worried as to how to get this data. Mr. Sunil, our hero, appears and the purchase manager asks him, can he help? The purchase manager gets the supplier addresses quickly. Again, Mr. Sunil says, sure, he can help. It's easy with Tally.ERP9. If you notice, when you observe Tally.ERP9 screen closely, you would find a statement in configuration column that is running as ODBC server. Once the ODBC server has been enabled, you select the company from which you wish to get the data. You open Microsoft Word and you pull in all the data and create this kind of a label. This is possible through ODBC. You can use Tally ODBC to pull supplier contact details from Tally.ERP9 and then use word processing software and create mailing labels like shown on the screen. Let us look at the third point of discussion for today. How do we ensure that the reports and statements reach right people in time? The business owner, Mr. Das, is worried because the letters that he has sent, the outstanding statements which he has sent to his customers, have not reached them on time. The reason being, the courier wala has not been able to trace their addresses. Now, Mr. Das asked Mr. Sunil as to how do we send this statements to our customers. Mr. Sunil asked Mr. Das not to worry because Tally.ERP9 has a technology which will allow you to email the outstanding statements to the customers directly. Let us see how do we email from ERP9. Open any statement in Tally, like your outstanding statements. Click on the email button. Immediately, the mailing ledger outstanding screen will appear in front of you, wherein you will specify the required details. Select the method of viewing for customers, like whether it should go as an attachment in the mail or it should go as direct viewing in the mail. However, you would see a note with as attachment which says recommended for printing. We recommend that you send these statements or outstanding statements as attachment which is recommended for printing. As soon as the email yes button has been entered, the mail will be shot from Tally.ERP9 to the corresponding email ID. When the customer opens this email account, he will be able to see the outstanding statement delivered to his email account. This is the sample view for direct viewing in mail. Now, you need not worry about the outstanding statements getting delivered on time to right people. Let us look at the next point for the day's discussion. How quickly and effortlessly can we set up a new branch office? There is a discussion happening in the meeting room. There is a new setup, a new office getting set up in the nearby location. Mr. Das wants Mr. Sunil to go to the other office to set up the operation. He wants Mr. Sunil to select a team to implement the chart of accounts over there. Mr. Sunil agrees upon that idea, but says he has another idea which will help them save time and money. What is that idea that Mr. Sunil wants to offer? How can he help us save time and money? The chart of accounts which are available on our head office can be used to set up the new branch office. What Mr. Sunil is offering to help is go to the list of accounts in the HO data and export this list. Once you click on export, an export list of ledgers screen appears in front of you, wherein you can select the required format, specify a file name, and select the type of masters which you wish to export. Once you hit enter on export, an XML file will be generated which can be taken to the new branch account. Ask them to place this XML file in the Tally folder and go into import of data. Once they hit enter on import of data, they will get import of master screen, wherein they will specify the file name, which is the XML file name which has been sent to them. He's got to select the treatment of entries which are already existing. Once he hits enter, the masters which are exported from the HO gets imported into the new branch, and immediately the person at branch is able to see the list of ledgers which are imported. It's simple, isn't it? Let us look at the next question for today. How do we consolidate company data? During the finalization time, our head staff starts working on consolidation of accounts. Here also, the boss wants the report of HO and Delhi office to be made available in next 30 minutes. The staff members start working over that. Let's have a look at the discussion. Here the male partner says, this is a tough job. Will we be able to complete this in 30 minutes? And the female staff agrees to it. I bet we won't be able to do. I hope we will get some automated system someday. But look at Mr. Sunil. He is ready with all the reports. He says, sir, the consolidated reports are ready. You want it. And the boss is shocked. My God, Sunil, how did you manage this so quickly? Let us have a look at what Mr. Sunil has done. As HO and the Delhi branch office both are using Tally.ERP 9, it's easy to ask Delhi office to send their data over the mail. Restore that data into your Tally.ERP 9 at HO. Open both the companies, the HO data and the Delhi data simultaneously on Tally.ERP 9, and immediately you will be able to see create group company. Just press enter here, specify the name of the group which you wish to create. Below, select the companies which you wish to consolidate. Accept this, and immediately a group company is created on your Tally.ERP 9. This company will offer the consolidated reports like balance sheet, profit or loss account, and your trial balance. Here, the balance sheet that you are seeing in front of you is the consolidated balance sheet of Salvo Raiders. You can click on this new column button, which will offer you to view the emerged data. In the sense, you can see the comparison, like on one column you are able to see the group company data, the consolidated accounts. On the right hand side column, you are able to see Salvo Trader Delhi's account. Let us move to the next question of the day. How do I print invoices in local language? This is a usual case when an employee is transferred from one location to the other. Assuming somebody from north is transferred to south. The language and the scripts differ. Now the perpetual problem that employee would face is, I have been moved recently from my home state to the other. I am unable to understand their language here. However, customers insist on invoices in their local language. Is there any way I can learn the language quickly and print invoices in the demanded language? What Mr. Sunil wants to say is, don't worry, Tally.ERP 9 multilingual capability will take care of this. With multilingual capability, you can simply pass sales transaction in English and print it in any other Indic language. While printing, simply select the language format you wish. Give a print command, and immediately you will be able to see invoice in the local language. This is possible through language aliases which Tally.ERP 9 offers. Get access to urgent records from anywhere. Have you ever thought how easy the life would be in case you would be able to access the day's accounts from either your home, while you are traveling, or even when you are at client's place? Tally.ERP 9 now offers remote access capabilities through its Trusted Remote. For this, you require a license at your office. However, to access your data remotely on the remote computer, you do not require a licensed version of Tally. On a remote computer, you can simply install Tally without license, that is in educational mode. Just hit enter on login as remote user. Immediately, login as remote TallyNet user screen appears in front of you, where you need to authenticate yourself by specifying your email ID and TallyNet password. Once you hit enter, a list of remote companies will be listed in front of you, from which you can select the company for accessing. Once the company is selected, you will immediately get the gateway of Tally of that particular company. This screen over here this label over here of Tally.ERP 9 gives you an impression that you are logged in remotely. Immediately, once you log in that to your computer remotely, you will get the access to your license on that remote computer. These are the reports which will be accessible remotely once you specify your username and password. There are some other great features of Tally.ERP 9 that we will discuss now. Splitting of financial years. When you have a database which is very large, assuming that you have 10 years data on your Tally, it definitely hampers the performance of your system. And you start imagining that the data has become too large. I think we need to select the financial years. But how do we do that? The reason being, as soon as you open a new database, there is a worry that encircles you. That is, how do I migrate the data, the masters and their opening balances into the new financial year? With Tally.ERP 9, it is very easy. First, we always suggest our customers to take a backup of their company data. Once the backup is taken, you can go into the company information menu and hit enter on split company. When you hit enter, immediately you are taken into the split company data screen. Here, you need to specify the date from which you wish to split the company data. The date you specify in the split from column will become the new financial year for the second company. Once you accept it, Tally will split the financial year and will display 3 companies. As you can see on the screen here, Salvo Raiders, the first company that is in the list here, is the one which has the complete data. This is the master company data file. Here, second is the data which is available from 1st of April 2008 till 1st of September 2008. And the third company, Salvo Raiders, is available from 1st September 2008 till date. The parent company is kept untouched for future references. 10. The records are now separated. Export to Excel is another great technological feature which we have introduced in Tally.ERP 9. I want some reports in a specific format that suit my organization design templates. How do I do it? Tally.ERP 9 allows you to export any report into Excel format. Let's look at this example. This is an sales register screen. Once you hit enter on export, you immediately get exporting sales register screen. Here, you can select the format as Excel spreadsheet. If you observe this screen again, you will find that we have specified the output file name as daybook.xls. So, modify the other options as per your requirement. Once you export, an Excel file is generated inside your Tally folder. Once you receive that report in Excel, you can modify it as per your requirement. Looking at all these technology features, we can say that Tally makes it easier for you. For any support related queries on Tally.ERP 9, we request you to write a mail to support@tallysolutions.com. We thank you for listening to this recorded webinar session.